I still catch myself starting to tell you things before I remember you're not here. Little moments, they used to be ours, now they just disappear. Your name almost leaves my mouth sometimes, like my mind hasn't learned the truth. There's a quiet way you used to live, and I don't know what to do with it. People say time will settle this ache, but time just shows me what changed. Now it's a heart without you, trying to be like it used to do. Every day feels slightly off, like the song missing part of its tune. I smile when someone says your name, like it doesn't pull me into. But the truth I carry every day is simple. It's a heart without you. I thought love meant we were certain, like something steady you could trust. But somewhere between the small silences, we slowly came undone. You stopped reaching for my hand first, I noticed, but I stayed quiet. I kept hoping if I loved you harder, something in you might find it. But love isn't something you can repair when only one person cares. Now it's a heart without you, trying to be like it used to do. Every room feels slightly wrong, like your shadow just left too soon. I laugh when someone asks about us, like it doesn't cut me in two. But the truth waiting underneath the surface, it's a heart without you. I don't blame you for walking away. Some feelings fade without a sound. I just wish I had known the moment we were already breaking down. Because I would have held that night longer, I would have listened more than I spoke. But you only see the ending clearly when it's already over. Now it's a heart without you, learning slowly what to do. Every memory still feels alive, even though we're through. And I'm trying to become someone who can finally face the truth. But tonight it's still the same old story, just a heart still beating without you. I still turn like you just called my name, even when the room is still. Funny how the mind keeps reaching for something it knows is gone. Your laugh shows up in small moments, in places I didn't expect. And for a second I almost believe you never really left. But silence has a way of telling the truth again. Now I'm alone with your memory, and it stays longer than you did. Every quiet hour got something I can prove, but most nights I'm just here, alone with the memory of you. People think time makes it smaller, like the feeling slowly fades, but it only changes shape in the corners of my days. Sometimes it's just a passing thought, sometimes it fills the room. A voice inside my chest asking if you still think of me too. I never learned the right way to let something like you go. Now I'm alone with your memory, and it follows everywhere in the quiet between heartbeats. I can almost feel you there. I pretend I've made my peace, like I've accepted losing you, but the truth is I'm still here, alone with the memory of you. Maybe one day I'll stop looking back at the life we almost knew. Maybe someday the thought of you won't feel this close to the truth. But tonight every little reminder still finds its way to me, and I realize how much of my heart you took quietly. Now I'm alone with your memory, and it's all that stayed behind. 1,000 smaller reminders. You still live inside my mind, and no matter how I try, some things you never move through. You just learn how to live alone with the memory of you. Of you. You used to talk like tomorrow mattered, like we had time we couldn't lose. Now every word between us feels careful, like borrowed truth. I hear the pauses in your breathing, the space before you answer me. It's not the silence that scares me, it's what that silence means. I keep pretending nothing's changing while watching you slip away. You're fading into the dark, right here beside me, close enough to touch, but already hard to reach. I keep saying your name, hoping something sparks, but love can't stay alive if it's fading into the dark. We still move through the same routines, like actors who forgot their lines. Two people trying to remember what it felt like when we were fine. I almost ask you if you're leaving, but I'm afraid to hear it said. Some truths feel heavier once they're out of your head. between us, both knowing what we won't say. You're fading into the dark, right here beside me. Your hand in mine, but it doesn't feel the same. I keep searching your eyes for the light that used to start, but love loses its way when it's fading into the dark. Maybe this is how it happens, not a storm, not a goodbye, just two hearts slowly drifting while pretending they still try. And the hardest thing to carry is the moment that I see you already let go before you let go of me. Now you're fading into the dark and I can't stop it. No words left strong enough to turn you back. I still whisper your name like it might leave a mark, but love finally disappears when it's fading, quietly fading into the dark. I knew something was changing long before we said it out loud. Your eyes didn't stay the way they used to. You listened, but not all the way. Like your mind was already somewhere else I couldn't follow. And I felt it, I just didn't leave. I kept telling myself this was only a phase, that love sometimes goes quiet before it finds its voice again. But I stayed too long, long after the warmth started fading, long after your heart stopped reaching for mine. I stayed holding on to the memory of who we used to be, while the person in front of me was already letting go. You didn't hurt me in a sudden way. There was no moment that shattered everything, just small distances growing each day. A softer tone, a slower reply, and the feeling that I was slowly losing you without a single goodbye. I should've listened to the silence. It was trying to tell me something I didn't want to hear, because I stayed too long after love stopped feeling alive, long after hope became something fragile. I stayed believing patience could save us, not realizing I was the only one still trying. Maybe leaving earlier would have hurt less, maybe it wouldn't, but the truth is I loved you honestly, and honest love doesn't know when to stop fighting. So I stayed too long until the quiet said everything, until your heart closed its door without saying the words. And now I walk away carrying the peace was changing long before we said it out loud. Your eyes didn't stay the way they used to. You listened, but not all the way. Like your mind was already somewhere else I couldn't follow. And I felt it, I just didn't leave. I kept telling myself this was only a phase, that love sometimes goes quiet before it finds its voice again. But I stayed too long, long after the warmth started fading, long after your heart stopped reaching for mine. I stayed holding on to the memory of who we used to be, while the person in front of me was already letting go. You didn't hurt me in a sudden way. There was no moment that shattered everything, just small distances growing each day. A softer tone, a slower reply, and the feeling that I was slowly losing you without a single goodbye. I should've listened to the silence. It was trying to tell me something I didn't want to hear, because I stayed too long, long after love stopped feeling alive, long after hope became something fragile. I stayed believing patience could save us, not realizing I was the only one still trying. Maybe leaving earlier would have hurt less, maybe it wouldn't, but the truth is I loved you honestly, and honest love doesn't know when to stop fighting. So I stayed too long until the quiet said everything, until your heart closed its door without saying the words. And now I walk away carrying the pieces of a love that ended slowly, while I stood there hoping it hadn't. I remember how certain I was, not loud about it, just quietly sure. The way you spoke about tomorrow made it feel like we had already arrived there. I didn't question it, I just believed you. Some promises don't sound like promises until they're gone. Looking back now, maybe forever was only a feeling, something we said when love felt strong enough to convince us. I thought we were forever, not perfect, not untouched by hard days, just lasting. I thought we were the kind of story 'cause I thought we were forever. The kind of love that survives quiet seasons, the kind that finds its way back even after getting lost. But forever turned out to be smaller than I imagined. Something that ended long before I understood it was ending. Maybe you believed it once too. Maybe we both did. Maybe forever is just a word people say when the present feels endless, and no one notices how fragile that feeling is. I thought we were forever. Now you're someone I remember instead of someone I know. And the future I once pictured with you exists only in my mind. I still catch myself speaking about you in the present tense before remembering that forever quietly stopped being true. We didn't fall apart all at once. It happened in smaller ways. In the pauses after I spoke, in the way you looked away. We still sat in the same rooms, still shared the same quiet air. But somewhere inside those moments, you were already somewhere else. I kept telling myself it was nothing, just a season we get through. But I watched us fade, little by little, day by day. Not a storm, not a fight, just love slipping out of place. I tried to hold what we had, but you were already far away. And the hardest part of loving you was watching us fade. I noticed when you stopped reaching for the stories we used to share, the way your voice sounded distant, even when you were right there. I almost asked if you felt it, the quiet space growing wide. But some questions stay unspoken, and you're afraid of the reply. So I stayed inside the silence, hoping it might turn around. But I watched us fade, little pieces at a time. Every promise losing color, right in front of my eyes. I tried to believe in us long after you walked away, and it broke me slowly, watching us fade. Sometimes I replay the ember, looking for something I missed, a moment I could have held tighter, a word I could have fixed. But maybe love doesn't shatter, maybe it just grows thin, until one day you realize it's no longer there to hold. And I watched us fade, even when I begged this wasn't the end of our days, but love doesn't wait forever. When one heart turns away, I'm still here remembering the night I finally understood I had been watching us fade. You were always halfway leaving, even on the better days. I could feel it in the quiet, in the careful words you'd say. I kept telling myself not to notice, like love might grow if I believed. But some truths sit in your chest, even when you try not to see. I thought patience might hold us together, but patience can't make someone stay. You were love that never stayed, just a moment I couldn't hold, like warmth that slips through open hands before the night turns cold. I gave more than I should have, but hearts don't measure that way. Some people are only meant to be love that never stayed. There were nights you felt so certain, like the world had slowed for us, and I believed every second because I wanted to trust. But the distance always returned in the spaces after we spoke, like something fragile between us that bent a little more with hope. And I kept standing in the doorway while you were already on your way. You were love that never stayed, just a feeling passing through, like a light that touches the window, then disappears from view. I held on longer than I should, but letting go felt the same. Some people walk into your life just to leave your name. I don't hate you for the ending. Some hearts just move like that. They arrive like something certain, then slowly step back. I just wish I knew the moment the story changed its page, the night you stopped being forever and became love that never stayed. You were love that never stayed. Still I wouldn't trade the truth, because for a little while my whole world was you. And maybe someday it won't ache every time I hear your name, but tonight you're still the echo of a love that never stayed. I didn't mean to think about you tonight. It just happened the way certain thoughts do. One small moment opening another, until suddenly you were everywhere again. The sound of your voice, the way you used to pause before saying something honest. I thought time would soften the stay sharp. I can live without you, but I still carry the moments we had. And these are the memories that hurt, not the bad days, not the arguments. It's the quiet happiness we didn't know would end. The small laughs, the ordinary hours, the way being near you felt easy. Those are the ones that return without warning. Memories that hurt. I've tried not to revisit them, to keep moving forward without looking back. But sometimes a feeling catches me off guard, and suddenly I remember the way you used to listen, like what I said mattered, like I was someone you wanted to understand. I didn't know those moments were becoming memories. We never noticed when the ending began. It just quietly found its way in. And now there are memories that hurt, gentle scenes from a life we had. I can see them clearly, but I can't return. Your smile, your voice, the way the world felt lighter when you were close. Those simple pieces of us are the ones that stay. Memories that hurt. I don't regret loving you even now, but I wish the mind knew how to forget, just enough to let the heart rest. Still these memories that hurt keep visiting, not to bring you back, just to remind me that once there was something real here, something warm, something honest, something I thought would last. And maybe that's why they hurt. Some memories fade, but yours stay. The room feels different lately, like something important left. I keep thinking I hear your voice, then I remember the rest. I walk through the same small moments, but they don't end the same way. Every thought ends with your name, then slowly fades away. I told myself I'd be alright, but nights have a way of telling the truth. So here I am in the quiet night, trying not to fall apart. Every memory speaks too loud when the world finally gets dark. I thought time would make it easier, but some things don't rewrite. Some loves only show their way through tears in the quiet night. People ask if I'm doing better, say what they expect, 'cause explaining this kind of loss feels too heavy to accept. I still reach for words to tell you small things you would understand. Then the silence answers softly, there's no longer a we to stand. And the truth settles slowly when the daylight disappears. Now it's just me in the quiet night, trying to steady my heart. Every echo of what we were, tears of silence apart. I thought love would leave gently, instead it holds on tight, and it finds me when no one sees, with tears in the quiet night. Maybe one day I'll say your name and it won't feel like a bruise. Maybe someday the memory won't feel like something I lose. But tonight every little reminder still cuts deeper than I admit. Because some goodbyes don't end cleanly, they just leave you living with it. So here I am in the quiet night, learning how to breathe again, holding pieces of a life that won't come back the same. And the truth I can't outrun, no matter how hard I try, is that love still speaks long after goodbye. Through tears in the quiet night. I didn't know it was the last time. If I had known, I would have stayed there longer. Your arms around me quiet, like nothing in the world was about to change. We didn't say anything important, just ordinary words. And somehow those are the ones I keep remembering. Try to replay that moment, slow it down in my mind, as if I could find the second when everything began to end. The last time you held me felt like every other time, warm, familiar, safe. There was no warning in your heartbeat, no sign. Your love was already learning how to leave. And now that memory stays with me, a moment that meant nothing then, but somehow became everything. You pulled away the way people always do, casual, unaware, like the world would keep repeating what it had always done. I watched you walk away without fear, because I believed there would be another moment just like it. But Life doesn't tell us which memories will survive. Some ordinary seconds quietly become the ones we carry forever. The last time you held me never felt like goodbye. Your voice was steady, your hands were gentle. Nothing about it felt final, but somewhere inside that moment, time had already decided we wouldn't return there again. Now when I remember you, it's not the ending that hurts most. It's that small piece of time when everything still felt whole. When your arms around me still meant I belonged there. The last time you held me lives quietly in my chest, unchanged, untouched by what came after. A soft memory I can't return to. If you ever think of me, I wonder if you remember it too. That simple moment when love was still there and neither of us knew. It was the last